Chapter 8, The Millionaire Mandates. The last chapter ensured that you have the right psychology needed to share your message and build a real business while you're doing so. If this is how experts think, I'm often asked, then what is it that they do? What do they excel at, and what do they consistently practice? In many ways, the skill sets that experts must master relate specifically to what vehicle they choose to communicate their message through. Authors must develop writing skills. Speakers should develop presentation and persuasion skills. Seminar leaders should be great at facilitation. Coaches should be excellent listeners and influencers, and so on. Although this might seem straightforward, our community has a decidedly disastrous perspective on skill development. It has none. Unlike other industries, our community has not embraced skill development, mostly because we have failed to view our calling as a real career choice. In the corporate sector, employers and employees take skill development very seriously. Would-be employees evaluate potential employers based on how much training and skill development they'll receive on the job. Companies invest billions of dollars and massive headcount in their human resource and organizational departments to create elaborate career paths, fast-track programs, and skill-building opportunities. Oddly, though, our industry rarely talks about or focuses on skill development. One reason this sad reality exists is because of the convenient lie in our community that says, oh, you can just outsource everything and be the talent. That lie has cost thousands of up-and-coming experts thousands of wasted dollars and control over their fate. If you want to control your destiny in any career or industry, including ours, you need to develop real skill at what you are doing. Coming from a corporate background, I attacked skill building in this industry with zest and dedication, even when it was hard and boring. This has really set me apart and given me a great amount of control and confidence in my future. Here's an example. In 2007, I realized that online video was going to be the dominant communication mode for experts in the future. Of course, 2007 seems late in the game to recognize this fact, but keep in mind that good, reliable, affordable technology did not yet exist for streaming longer format video online. The technology for shorter format did exist, but remember that experts deal in training, and our videos are often much longer, sometimes an hour or more. At that time, there were very few people effectively using video in online promotions or training programs. Because of the new streaming technologies that emerged around that time, it became possible to post training videos and webinar replays that were up to an hour or even longer. This was a game changer. At the time, a small cadre of online marketing experts started waving the flag and telling our community to pay attention to using video in our marketing, including Frank Kern, Andy Jenkins, and Mike Koenigs, to name a few. But as of this writing, as of you hearing my voice now, most experts are still not using video, even though it's proven to be more effective and lucrative for the industry. Why? It's because few experts look at the horizon of our industry and ask, what new skills will I need to develop to stay relevant, connected, and effective? People ask that all the time in the corporate space, but not often in the entrepreneurial space. In the case of online video, many leading experts thought, yes, video will be important someday, I'll just outsource it. It turns out that outsource in the entrepreneurial world often equates to, I'll get around to it someday. But I approached video very differently. I thought, video is becoming very important in our industry and thus will become important to my long-term success in the industry. I'd better learn it and develop skill right now. With this in mind, I went to some free classes on shooting video being offered by a local art school. I researched shooting, editing, and posting videos. I emailed people who were using video in their online marketing and I asked how they do it. Most importantly, I took action. I bought a cheap flip video camera and started shooting video in my apartment. My first videos were just me looking at the camera and teaching some basic personal development concepts. They were horrible, really horrible. But the first time I rode a bike, it wasn't so pretty either. And I approached video just like riding a bike or any other skill. You get better with practice. As of this message to you, The way I'm using video online to market my expert empire is probably the most talked about in the industry. Using only video, sometimes direct to camera, and sometimes using a screen capture technologies to make a video recording of a PowerPoint presentation of my screen, as an example, I have had remarkable success. In 12 months alone, I used video exclusively in $2 million plus promotions. I shoot on average one video per week that adds massive value to my audience or coaching clients. That's not bad for a kid who started out with just a flip video camera. The point here is not to impress you, but to convey the importance of identifying a skill set that will be important to your long-term success and to help you consistently and diligently develop that skill set. Video was important to my future, so I decided to master it. I've applied this same dedication to other skill areas that are important to my long-term success, including HTML coding, copywriting, product development, persuasion, and even graphic design. Heed my words here. If it's important to your long-term success, do not outsource it. Master it. Your success is powered by your skill sets. In general, I say that everyone in our industry should develop skill sets in writing, specifically copywriting for marketing, speaking and persuasion, facilitating large groups, coaching individuals to achieve their goals, video shooting and editing, and blogging and social media. This might sound like a lot to learn, but I personally developed a strong proficiency in each of these areas in under 4 years. Is 4 years worth a lifetime of confidence in your career? I'd say so. The great benefit in our industry is that you're building most of these skills on the job as you promote your message anyway. To spread your message, you'd do the following. You'd create a blog and a presence on social media websites. You'd write some posts and articles for your pages on those sites. You'd shoot, edit, and post some videos on those sites as examples. In doing all those things, you build your skills. By taking action, struggling through, figuring it out, asking lots of questions, and persisting, you suddenly have mastery. Outside of the skills I just mentioned, I believe that most highly paid experts focus most of their time on developing and practicing 5 broad skills that I call the messenger mandates. These are unique skills you must develop to succeed in our unique industry. To call these skills is a bit of a misnomer because they may be viewed as work efforts or tasks more than just skill sets, but be that as it may, the following 5 mandates are my response to the frequently asked question, what do I need to be doing in this industry, and what should I get really good at to succeed? Messenger mandate number 1, positioning. Every expert must become skillful at what I call positioning in the industry. This is my big bucket term for developing a good sense of A, what your audience wants, and B, what it takes to ensure that you and your content are held in high regard by your customers and other experts in our community. If you are not well positioned in this industry, just like any career or role, you can't get ahead. You need to make sure you're talking to the right audience and that people notice you and quickly see your value vis-a-vis other players in your market space. Let's start with positioning yourself well with your audience. It should go without saying that you need to know who your audience is and what they want. Once you have that knowledge, you need to deliver incredibly useful and actionable information to them on a frequent basis. The less valuable and less frequent your contact with them, the lower you are positioned. If you are not at the top of their minds, you're not relevant or remembered. If you don't frequently hear this phrase from your audience, then you're probably not doing a great job of positioning yourself. They should be saying, wow, I can't wait to get your next whatever, video or newsletter. Whenever I see your name in my inbox, it's the first note I open. That's what you're aiming for. You also have to position yourself purposely vis-a-vis other experts. I know positioning is a weird word, so let me illustrate this concept. When I decided to start teaching personal development seminars, I started researching my competitors. I don't consider anyone a competitor in our industry or community as we're all so unique, but I wanted to know who else was teaching on my topics, what they were teaching, how they were teaching, how they marketed their programs, how much they charge, what their websites looked like, and so on. I subscribed to everyone's newsletter, bought their products, and went to their events. While doing so, I constantly thought about how I was different and how I wanted to be perceived. When I finally felt like I knew the industry well enough, I had tough choices to make, the same choices every up-and-coming expert must make. How do I explain how I'm different? Why is my content valuable? How much do I charge? What level do I want to play at in this industry? In choosing the answers to those questions, I was essentially forming my positioning in the industry. If I couldn't answer intelligently and thoughtfully, then I'd just be like everyone else, and no one would take notice of me or buy my programs. So I spent a lot of time purposefully and strategically differentiating myself and my content. You should do the same. Uniquely, I also chose a somewhat controversial path. Despite the fact that I was just starting out in the industry, I decided to position myself towards the top of the industry by charging the same amount, if not more, than the biggest names in the personal development and business growth spaces. I did this for several reasons. In sharing these reasons, I risk sounding egotistical or arrogant, I get it. But I hope by now you realize I don't have that level of ego, and I just think sharing my thought process might help me make the point I want to make. First, I chose to charge premium prices because I felt that my story and my strategies for success were unique and transformative. I saw the effect they had on others, and the results were dramatic. Second, my content synthesized so much best practice that I knew it was comprehensive and cutting edge. Importantly, I also knew that my content was structured in a very practicable and actionable manner. The number one complaint that I was hearing in the industry at the time was that most seminars in our industry either were too conceptual or too rah-rah. People wanted real deal, tangible training. So I structured all of my content to meet that demand. I learned a lot about world-class training and adult learning programs while I was a consultant at Accenture, and I brought those lessons to my work in this expert industry. Third, I felt that my presence and presentation style was distinct and more engaging than that of others. This, of course, sounds odd to say, if not pompous, but I personally found most experts and presenters to be tragically stoic, monotone, and rehearsed. The reality is that most people just don't push themselves to be good performers. This, I believed, was a great opportunity for my style: accessible, lively, enthusiastic, present, authentic, to stand out. Years later at Experts Academy, Paul Abdul would comment on one of those, and she'd tell the audience that she loved me because I was like a chihuahua on crack, because of my enthusiasm. Fourth, I chose to make my seminars more about training content than hyping people up with affirmations only to pitch them a dozen new programs. This was a critical distinction in my career, perhaps the hallmark of my success. At the time, many seminars were simply one-day events that sold people into higher-priced programs, or they were lineups of a few dozen speakers who all sold something from the stage. These pitch fests were all the rage because they are incredibly lucrative, and I participated in many of them, but I also saw that they had no future. I made a financial decision to hold longer format training seminars, 3- and 4-day events. I also decided to sell fewer programs from the stage, again favoring content and training. Fifth, I came to find that my training materials and approach to live events as well as to business in general was very different from the norm. Simply put, I was obsessive about quality and excellence, while many others, if not most, seemed to be missing the mark. As an example, most seminars in the industry were being held in cheap, dark hotels. The handouts and materials distributed to participants were on cheap paper and were basically photocopies of photocopies crammed into cheap binders. Worst of all, there was little attention paid to ambiance and music. I decided to book nicer hotels and conference rooms that had windows. We lit our rooms more brightly, distributed higher quality handouts and binders, focused on better sound and lighting, and so on. I brought a higher level of corporate professionalism and dedication to detail to my brand, and it stood out quickly with both customers and peers in our community. Finally, I decided to meet all the other leading experts in my industry. I approached them or their organizations and offered to add value, to interview them, speak on their stages, quote them in my work, promote their products, or have them speak at my events. Soon I was friends with almost every major expert in my industry. They then started promoting me to their audiences, which improved my positioning even more as wider audiences started seeing my affinity and affiliation with the big names. All this led me to believe that I was distinct enough to charge premium prices. And it was these points of distinction and this level of pricing that quickly positioned me atop the expert community. Within a year of starting my seminars, we were selling out every event. This was during a time in the economy when most of the economy was failing and most experts were struggling to fill events. The takeaway here is that how distinct you are and how much you charge and stay connected with your peers is vitally important to your positioning in our community. You need to be incredibly conscious of these things because your goal is to quickly, strategically, and ethically elevate your presence in our expert community so that you stand out, attract more customers, and create a brand that your peers will want to be a part of and promote. I often tell my clients that they have to strategically and consistently position themselves in 3 ways to stand out. First, they have to position themselves as a credible source on their subject. How do you do that? You put out valuable content for free in the marketplace and online so that people can see who you are and how you're different. You can create and distribute blog postings, videos, webinars, teleseminars, podcasts, ebooks, and so on. Obviously, you don't have to do each one of those, but you need to get your message out there. And yes, you need to put it out there for free so people can get a taste of who you are. Second, I tell clients that they need to position their information as leading edge training content. They need to be certain and direct in telling customers, hey guys, this is the latest results and research I've been able to gather and get. This is cutting edge stuff, and I've structured it so that you can quickly understand it and implement it. The more diligent you are at creating great training, the more people will see you as a high value content provider. My personal dedication to this concept has helped my products and programs sell themselves and has caused people from all over the world to flock to our training. When people know your content is the best out there, they trust you, they believe in you, and yes, they buy from you. Finally, I advise clients to get very close to other experts in their field. Go to their seminars, mingle with them at conferences, join masterminds with them, promote them, and offer to add value to them in their businesses. Like any industry, you flourish at some level based on who you know and who you are associated with. So hang out with leading thinkers, interview them for your audience, and ask them to do the same for you with their audiences. Create great relationships. Get in the guru loop and stay there. Positioning yourself and your content intelligently is both a skill and a mandate for succeeding in this industry. This work is all about creating distinction, value, and a good reputation in the industry. I focus on it with every communication I send out and with every program I develop. You should too. Expert signposts. 1. The lessons I learned here about positioning are: 2. The steps I will take to position myself in this industry are: 3. The people I need to get close to in this industry are: 4. The way I want to be perceived in this industry is... Messenger mandate number 2, packaging. Messengers and experts are at the most basic level content creators. We find out what our customers want and what would improve their lives or grow their businesses, and then we go out and create some informational products and programs that would serve them. We are creators. And just like positioning, creating and sharing great information that's valuable to people is a skill and a mandate for experts. I like to use the term packaging to describe 3 activities that allow us to build a real business with a great reputation. First, experts need to learn how to package their information in a way that can be easily understood and implemented by their customers. Despite the media's best attempts to force experts to hone their advice into 3 to 5 short tips, the packaging of our advice is not that simple. Outlining, chunking, ordering, and structuring our message are skills that take time to hone. The truth is that Most people have no idea how to even think through the vast amount of knowledge they have about life or business. They don't even know how to communicate their advice so people can understand it well enough to actually use it. And they rarely know how to present it in a way that customers find engaging and empowering. I teach a lot about content creation at Experts Academy, but let me share my favorite distinction in creating and structuring highly valuable content. Have you ever wondered why a college professor gets paid less than a professional consultant? Or why a self-help guru gets paid more than a therapist or counselor? Obviously, it has a lot to do with positioning in the marketplace. It also has a lot to do with how they package their information. The college professor creates and shares information just like all professors do. The realm of the professor generally lies in sharing concepts and theory about a given topic. The ordering of their information is geared to help students gain a broad perspective of a given topic so that they can understand it and hopefully develop critical thinking skills. Forced by time and tradition, the professor flies high, giving a broad overview of their topic at the 30,000-foot level. Learning and thinking are the outcomes. The professional consultant, though, approaches education in a very different manner. The consultant focuses less on concept and theory and more on process and practical methodology. The ordering of their information is process and system driven, geared to helping learners move directly and efficiently, step by step, from point A to point B. The goal is not so much to help learners develop critical thinking skills as it is to build an actual ability or skill set to achieve a specific outcome. Freed from traditional educational constraints, the consultant puts the rubber to the road and addresses what learners actually do to implement concepts and theory in the trenches and on the ground. Implementing processes and achieving results are the outcomes. Now, before I start getting mail from academics around the world pointing out how wrong I am, let me qualify the example I've just given you. First, it's a broad conceptualization and generalization meant to illustrate a point. In no way am I suggesting that professors are not as valuable, skilled, well-intended, capable, or, for that matter, process-driven as consultants. For the record, I'm a tried and true supporter of traditional education. I'm a product of a liberal arts education, and I personally wish for every person to have an opportunity to get a college degree. College was and is in many ways the most developmentally rich and most enjoyable time of my life. I believe all college professors and educators should be paid 10 times what they earn now. But I hope you see the point in my comparison. Right or wrong, those who teach process and implementable solutions are more valued in the marketplace than those who teach concept and theory. Teaching step-by-step information is more valuable than teaching overview. If someone, especially a consumer who has never met you in person, is going to buy your informational product or program, they want to know they'll get advice and information that they can follow and that will lead them directly from point A to point B. I cannot stress this enough. I've helped clients raise their prices by a factor of 10 in dozens of subject areas simply by advising them to create a clearer and more implementable system that their clients could follow to solve a problem and achieve a very specific outcome. Thus, to package your information well, you must be clear about what your customer wants to overcome and achieve. Then, you must create a step-by-step process that shows them how to achieve their goal. The better you do at this, the more value you add. The more value you add, the more you can charge. The more value you add and the more you charge, the better you are positioned. Second, experts need to learn how to package their products well. If you're going to create a 6-disc audio program with transcripts and an accompanying workbook, your program needs to be logically laid out and beautifully designed. This should go without saying, but because many up-and-coming experts are just starting out, they skimp and create everything on the cheap. Personally, I think 80% of the products in our industry look horrible. Just as Apple made a killing by reinventing the look and feel of personal computers and mobile devices, so too will experts who make their products beautiful and intuitive. To those concerned with designing products yourselves, take heart. It's very simple to work with a product designer and manufacturer in designing your product. The message here is not that you need to become a graphic designer or product designer. It's that as an owner of your empire, you need to make sure everything looks great. Finally, experts need to learn to package themselves well. You have to present to the world a very organized, articulate, caring, credible, happy, and healthy person. It's a hard reality for many to swallow, but looks matter. If you are a sloppy, uninspiring mess, people don't want to follow you. If you can't take care of yourself or follow your own advice, why would anyone believe in or buy from you? To those obsessively concerned with appearance and beauty, don't worry. This is not an industry of Barbie and Ken dolls. You don't have to look like a magazine cover model or movie star to get ahead. Lord knows good looks are not the reason I got ahead. You know, I can tell you one thing. I'd argue that most experts in our community are actually quite plain. Your average next door neighbor. The difference is that the highest paid experts exude success because they identify themselves as successes and they dress and carry themselves like successful professionals. If you want to stand out in the industry, dress well, speak well, carry yourself well, project the strength and energy within you that cares and is enthusiastic about the world. Don't try to be something you're not, and please don't be another loud and overcompensating charismatic. Just be the best you always, especially when you are in the spotlight. In all your photos, websites, videos, products, and presentations, display the best you. It's key to your brand and positioning. Never forget that you are a role model for others, and good health and buoyant energy is something we should all model to the world. Expert signposts. 1. The lessons I learned here about packaging are 2. When creating my information and my products, I'm going to package them so that they are 3. The way I want my brand to be displayed to the world shows me as a person who is 4. The actions I'm going to take to keep fit, healthy, and energized include messenger mandate number 3, promoting. Once you create your positioning and your packaging, it's time to alert the world to who you are, what you teach, what you offer. It's time to promote yourself. This, I bet, terrifies you. I always joke that if it were true that experts are ego-driven, then they would not be so scared to death to be self-promotional. The reality is that most up-and-coming experts are terrified of the idea of marketing. The good news, however, is that marketing in our industry is very different than what many expect. First, let me dispel a common myth. Many trainers in our space often say, your number one job is to be marketing yourself all the time. Well, the intention is valid, the message is not. Your number one job in this business is to teach and serve people. That's what you felt compelled to do, and that's what you must do. Luckily for you, we are at an interesting crossroad in time when training is marketing. In the old world of marketing, experts would send out one-off promotions to their customers, announcing they had a new product available. For example, an author would send out postcards, brochures, and emails out to the, kind of out of the blue, announcing their new book. They would say, in effect, attention, I know I haven't talked to you for a while, but by golly, I have something that can help you buy this new thing I have. This announcement marketing strategy never really worked well, and these days it's completely useless. The better approach for experts today is to add value to your customers for free by actually teaching and training them on your topic. The idea, as I have referenced previously, is for you to send out a few free content pieces, whether free calls, videos, webinars, ebooks, and so on, over a series of days or weeks. Then say, dear customer, if you like those things, then you will love my new program. The distinction is subtle but meaningful. Never sell without first adding significant value. It's the difference between promoting and campaigning. By giving away free content first, your customers get to re-engage with who you are and what you have to offer them. Then, when you say that you have something for sale, they have a better understanding of the value and a higher anticipation and likelihood for buying. To promote your message, brand, and products effectively, what you need is a website and a shopping cart system that will allow you to capture a customer's contact information, send out emails, and process credit card orders. Most people in our industry start out with shopping cart services like One Shopping Cart, Office Autopilot, or Infusionsoft. Once you have the online infrastructure up to add value, capture leads, and make sales, then the rest of your efforts revolve around relating to your customers and creating products and promotions. That, in a nutshell, is your new career. The key to doing well with your promotions is to understand buying behavior and sales psychology. Most of Experts Academy has been built to teach this and give specific campaigns to authors, speakers, coaches, seminar leaders, and online marketers. The basic concepts of promoting anything for purchase, though, are universal. There are 8 elements present in any good sales message, and all of them must be used in your sales videos or sales copy. Claim. Every strong sales message must begin with a claim, a bold promise about what your product or service can help others accomplish. It's important to know that people rarely read past a headline or watch more than the first few minutes of a video. Why? It's not because people have short attention spans, which is what you might think. Instead, it's because they are not hooked and enticed to watch more. They aren't grabbed by the eyeballs by a powerful and relevant statement or promise that makes them pay attention and want to learn more. That's the job of your claim, to grab interest. Your customers should hear or read your claim and say to themselves, I simply must find out more about this. To accomplish this, your claim should highlight the benefits, results, newness, distinction, or wow factor of what you are offering. Challenge. What are the problems your customer is facing in life? How much are those problems costing them? What is preventing them from moving ahead? What will happen if they don't resolve these problems? These are the questions that you must address to create rapport with your prospects. Show them that you understand their world and their problems. Draw attention to how bad it really is and how bad it will continue getting if something doesn't change immediately. Selling is really the art and science of illuminating other people's problems, inspiring them to commit to your solution. As cold and horrible as that might sound, it's true. Great promotions always make you realize there's something missing in your life and that you can have and should have more. Your job as a marketer of your message is to show people the need for what you are selling by shining the flashlight on their challenges and what is necessary to overcome those challenges. But you must never portray yourself as someone who has never had these challenges yourself, which is why we need the next element. Commonality. I often say, if you haven't been through it, they won't listen to it. This is a simple statement that reminds us that people listen to experts who are like themselves. One of the most common mistakes new experts make in marketing their message is to sound too perfect and too successful to be believable. They forgot what the great educator Booker T. Washington once said. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has achieved in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome. People relate to your struggles more often than they do your successes. So never forget to share that the challenges your prospects are facing are common and that you have encountered similar obstacles on your path to success. Also, share how you and the prospect have a common and successful future. Say something like, I understand where you are. I've been there. We are in this together, and I'm here to help you. We're going places, you and me. Your common story and journey to overcome challenges creates remarkably powerful rapport. Once you have rapport with your prospects, the next step is to show why you are the person to help them get ahead. Credibility. You create credibility by sharing the reasons why you are qualified to help your customer overcome their challenges and improve their life, results, or situation. For experts, This is accomplished by sharing the results you've attained in life, the research you've compiled and synthesized, or the reasons why you're a role model. This is not a time to brag about every little thing that you've done in your life, nor is it the place to brag about your resume or your riches. Instead, this is where you want to share your story of finding the solution that finally helped you achieve your breakthrough. This is where you say, in effect, I've traveled the road you are on today. I've already reached the destination, and I'm here to shorten your learning curve and your path to success. I've done it, and I've helped others do it, and here's proof. Next, you show proof that you are credible by highlighting your accomplishments as well as the achievements of others who have succeeded because they followed your advice or used your solution. Choice. No sales message can be effective if it fails to create a clear and powerful choice in the prospect's mind. You must present your product, program, or service in such a way that it's obviously different and better than anything else out there. Be bold in bemoaning why other offerings in the marketplace are insufficient or ineffective. State strongly and specifically why your solution is the best available to date. Show all of the benefits that your solution will bring into your prospects' lives so that they want and need it. Here's one secret of the hundreds of marketing secrets that we teach at Experts Academy. Show testimonials of customers stating explicitly why they chose your solution, not just whether or not it worked. This creates social proof and begins the argument in your prospect's mind to make a similar choice. Comparison pricing. Everyone in the world wants a good deal. They want to know that when they buy something, its value is worth much, much more than what they paid for it. Knowing this, you must never present the price of your offering without first building towards a higher value. You want the prospect to think your offering is going to be more expensive than it turns out to be. You do this by price juxtaposition, showing big numbers and high value and then scaling down to a lower number but equally high value. For example, if you're trying to sell something at $19.95, you should illustrate how similar solutions cost hundreds of dollars, or how your solution can earn them hundreds if not thousands of dollars if it deals with wealth, and so on. If your prospects don't think your solution is going to be 10 times the price you ultimately offer them, then you're not doing a good job. Again, you must do all this ethically and intelligently, but the takeaway should be clear. Make them feel like they are getting a great deal. Concern. What are the likely objections your prospects will have to buying your solution? What do they doubt about you? What do they fear won't happen when they get your product, program, or service? Answering these types of questions in your mind and in your sales message is critical to your success. The more objections you obliterate during your sales messaging, the more sales you make. Great marketers spend incredible amounts of time writing out the objections and frequently asked questions of their prospects that they may have in the decision-making process. You should too. Personally, I never sell anything without first conducting informal tests with friends, strangers, and previous customers. I tell them what I have, I show them my products from my sales videos, and then I ask, what concerns or objections do you think someone might have to buying this? Would you personally buy this right now in cash on the spot? Why or why not? The lessons I learned from these tests translate directly and explicitly into my sales messages. Close and call to action. Making a strong close and call to action would seem like a no-brainer, but almost every new marketer I've ever met fails here. A great call to action builds to a crescendo, stacking on so many exciting benefits, bonuses, guarantees, and urgency message that the consumer says, I must buy this now. Let's unpack that sentence. A great call to action stacks messages. First, it stacks benefits and bonuses, more reasons and value for the prospect to buy right now. That's why in every infomercial you've ever seen offering some silly product, they always double the offer at the end. Yes, you get not just one, but 2 Ninja Ginsu knives when you order right now. All right. Second, Great closes remove risk and set the prospect at ease. Hey, if you aren't fully satisfied with this product, then return it within 30 days and we'll refund your entire payment. Guarantees are incredibly important in our industry. While most newbies fear that they will be taken advantage of for offering a guarantee, the fact is that more people will buy your offerings because of the guarantee than those who will abuse it. Next, a great close ends with scarcity or urgency messaging, telling the prospect why they must buy now or risk losing this great value, price, or one-time offer. And finally, a powerful close must end with a clear, direct, simple, and repeated call to action. Call this telephone right now. Click the button below right now to get started. Call this telephone number right now to order. These components of a great sales message are simply an overview of good marketing. I hope they serve you in thinking about your next promotion. If you'd like to go deeper into the world of marketing your message, simply visit expertsacademy.com and opt in by entering your contact information. I'm always sharing great marketing strategies and tactics with my subscribers. Becoming a great marketer is like anything else. You master it by learning from others, doing it yourself, experimenting, testing, and improving. I encourage you to take marketing very seriously and make it a lifelong study. Your message deserves to be heard by the masses, and you do deserve to make money while serving others. To do this, you must become a great promoter. Expert signposts. 1. The next product or program I'm going to create and promote is 2. The benefits people would get from this program are 3. The free pieces of content I can send to people before offering this program for sale are 4. The reasons people will feel compelled to buy this program are Mandate number 4, partnering. You can only get your message out to the world so far by yourself. While everyone would love to get their message to go viral and suddenly become an instant celebrity or YouTube phenomenon, it rarely happens. This is an important point and something you need to know in advance. At Experts Academy, I've met hundreds of people who were absolutely devastated that their message was not catching fire by itself. Many say, Brendan, I just don't understand it. Everyone in the world needs my information. It's such an important message and it can really change people's lives, but it's just not happening for me. What's wrong with people? They'll spread the message about a puking cat on YouTube, but not my life-changing stuff. Help! This is funny on multiple levels. First, that's so true. Any animal that falls, pukes, bites, plays, or just looks cute will always virally trump your message online. Welcome to our society of insignificant distractions. Get over it and lose the ego. When the student is ready, the master will appear. Your message will grow virally as people need it and share it with others who need it. Second, it's funny in an ironic way because so many experts who believe and want to help people end up saying, "What's wrong with people?" They become tragically jaded without being conscious of it. That feeling starts to creep into their communications as a hint of condescension and exasperation. In turn, their message starts to die as people are put off. This is not funny. It's career-ending. Never assume something is wrong with people simply because they don't like it, believe in, or help promote your message. Everyone has their own agenda and needs, and when they need you, they'll find you. That's assuming, of course, that you are out there to be found via your website and promotions. So what can you do to amplify your message and give it the best chances of going viral? First, create great value and content. Less obvious? Go get partners who make it go viral. The goal of every messenger in the world should be to find more messengers to amplify their message. Even Christ needed disciples and promotional partners. Landing big promotional partners is critical to your message's reach and your financial success. That's why it demands your attention and consistent effort. Luckily, It's a fairly straightforward process. First, identify other experts on your topic. I've shared the importance of this previously. Your mission in your new career should include knowing all the big players on your topic in the industry. This would seem to be a no-brainer, but when I ask my audiences at Experts Academy if they can name at least 10 gurus on their topic of choice, only 10% of the room often raises their hands. The newbie's greatest disadvantage is ignorance, and in no other area is that ignorance more debilitating than in not knowing who else is out there teaching on your topic. Scour the internet for other experts by searching Google, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the usual search and social media portals. Who else is training on your topic? Who has written a book on it? Who talks about it on their blogs? Who speaks about it for a living? Who's doing seminars? Who teaches it at colleges and major universities? While researching the web for other luminaries and messengers might not sound like a lot of fun, it's necessary. It's also surprising to see what else is out there and what others are saying and doing. Luckily for you, most of what you will find out there is crap, and you will be inspired to take the helm and lead the industry on your topic. As you're doing this homework, create a spreadsheet with all the other gurus' names, email addresses, brick and mortar addresses, and websites. Don't worry though, finding their contact information is easy. There isn't a credible expert in the world who doesn't list their contact information on their website. Unlike celebrities, entrepreneurial experts want to be found, interviewed, and contacted for opportunities. Also, subscribe to their newsletters as you go so that you know what they send out to their communities. Their newsletters give you great insider perspective on what they send out, sound like, and sell. I personally subscribe to over 100 lists because I want to know what other experts are saying and doing so that I always know that I'm in the know and relevant. I manage this by having a separate email that I use to follow gurus. After watching and following other gurus for a while, start weeding down the list to those you trust, like, and respect. That list becomes your target promotional partnership list. Second, after you've done all this homework, and only after you've done all of this homework, it's time to reach out to these potential partners. This is where 100% of newbies screw up. They reach out to the other experts like idiots and amateurs. Their first communication usually sounds something like the following. They send an email out to the person they want to work with, and here's what the email sounds like. The subject line says, "Please spread the word!" ! Dear so-and-so, I'm new to this industry and I like your work. I'm almost done reading your book. I'm also very passionate about, insert your topic, because then they go on and on and on about their big long life story and how every major struggle recently has forged their character and summoned the message from their soul, and they go on and on and on. Then they say, with all that I've said, I have a new thing coming out, a new blog or book or event, something. I have a new thing coming out in 3 days, and I would love it if you would give me something for free or endorse my book or send an email out to your entire list and tell them how great I am and to buy my stuff. Thanks for doing that for me. Could you please let me know when you could do that? Attached is my, whatever it is that's huge, massive megabytes that ensures the delivery goes to my spam box, right? Thanks again for all you do. I really appreciate it. Signed, Naive Newbie. Clearly, I'm kind of being facetious, but you get the point. Tragically, this really is what most people do when reaching out to influencers and leaders in their area. I know, I get around 100 emails a week just like this. Anyone who knows anything about Networking 101 can tell you why this approach is horrible. It's self-absorbed, needlessly long, and begging for a favor from a stranger. I've heard others in our expert community say these types of emails are equivalent to going on a date with someone, talking about yourself the whole night, and then trying to get a kiss at the end. But I disagree. It's more like walking up to someone and sticking your tongue down their throat. There's no date at all, just a pushy, selfish act that gives the other no period of time to evaluate who you are. The reason this kind of nonsense happens all the time is what I now call secretitis. I'm guessing that if you are listening to me and you've read The Millionaire Messenger, that you have heard about and probably read the book or seen the movie The Secret. It's actually a good book. The message is to send out good intentions into the world for what you want, and the universe will feel your energy and send you what you want. Before I criticize the book, I have to admit I think it helped a lot of people. The book has a good message. Your thoughts and what you focus on matter. And for full disclosure, I'm friends with many of the stars of the movie. However, even the stars later warned about the missing pieces of the message. The real secret to success requires working hard, but that's never mentioned in the book. I believe The Secret is just another in a long line of self-help books that hypnotize our culture into leading their lives through a mantra of ask and you shall receive. If you followed my work before, you've likely heard me tell audiences this, and you can quote me. The era of ask and you shall receive is dead. Today's achievers live and breathe by the credo, give and you shall receive. Before you can get, you must give. And that's the first tenet of winning promotional partners to help spread your message and grow your business. The best approach in our community is to reach out to another expert and give them exactly that which you wish to receive. If you want them to promote your website, promote theirs. Want an endorsement? Give one first. Need their feedback on your project? Give feedback on theirs. With the give and you shall receive credo as foundation, here's an entirely different way to approach an expert who could be a potential promotional partner for you. Imagine this email. Subject line, can I promote your work? Dear so-and-so, I'm writing to thank you for all the help that you have given to others and ask if I could promote your message and business to my circle of influence. I'm sure you're always looking for more people to help you get your message out there. I know I am. So I'm writing to see if it would be okay if I zapped an email to my friends, family, and fans about your work. Is there anything specific you are doing now that you're trying to promote? I'm a big fan of your, whatever it is, blog, book, product, or event. I particularly like your message about so-and-so, and really insert something like their core message here. And it's meant a lot to me. I know it can be a thankless job being an expert, so please know that your work is making a difference in people's lives. It sure has in mine. Anyway, since we're both in the business of, you put your topic here, I thought I would share your message with my audience, even if my audience is not as large as yours. I help people do so-and-so, and I think we have a nice alignment in how we serve. Thanks again for all you do. Please let me know what you would like me to tell my audience about and how I can help you. Signed, Nice Newbie. This nice newbie note is a complete 180 from the naive newbie note. It offers to add value. It gives. It's appreciative and to the point. It's open-ended. It's good. But hold on. You're an expert, which means at some level you may often be overly analytical. This means you see a new opportunity or idea and you immediately question it, instantly raising objections in your mind. Those objections often kill your ability to try new things and implement ideas. What am I talking about? Well, I know that as soon as you heard Nice Newbie's email, you may have thought, but wait a minute, Brendan, I don't have much of an audience. I don't have a big list of fans or subscribers. Oh my God, this would not work for me. Why would anyone want to work with me? Am I right? I know this is true because I've been working with experts for so long. So let's quelch your concerns by flipping the situation around. If someone wrote this email to you, offering to promote your message, would you honestly care how many people they can reach? Sure, you would care, but would you say no? Of course not. You want to get your message out there to anyone, to any size list. This is akin to fundraising in the nonprofit world. If a donor contacts a nonprofit and wants to give some money, the nonprofit does not mind if they get $5 or $50 or $5,000. Yes, of course, they would prefer $5,000 over $5, but they'll take all the help they can get, and they are appreciative for all of it because they need help doing their good works. So do you. A messenger rarely turns down another promotional partner. So after the expert writes back, expressing appreciation and giving you something to promote, you promote it for them. You do this through your website or social media or whatever vehicle you have. You help them spread their message, no strings attached. Then you show them you followed through by sending them whatever communication you sent out praising their work, and thus the relationship really begins. For those who object and say, but Brendan, what if they don't do anything for me after I promote them? I respond, so what? You promoted some good content to your audience. If anything, your audience will appreciate the information. Much more likely, though, is this scenario. The guru is appreciative, asks more about what you do, and a real dialogue begins. Perhaps one day you meet live at a conference at some point, and sorry, there's no rule on what point this comes. You make a suggestion to cross-promote each other as affiliates. What's an affiliate? It just means you promote for each other, track your results, and share in any revenue created by your co-promotion. It means you are promotional partners who make a profit together. I could write an entire book about affiliate marketing, but instead, let me give you the gist by offering another sample communication. When the appropriate time in the relationship comes, preferably after you've actually met your new guru friend in person, you say something like the following. You send an email like this. Subject line, promoting you again. Hey, so-and-so, got an idea for you. Remember when I promoted your stuff to my audience? They seemed to really like it. I bet we have a lot of overlap and we could do a lot of good sharing each other's ideas and products. Here's my idea. I have a really high value free video, webinar, report, whatever it is you're going to give away. I have a really high value free thing that you can give your audience. I've charged money for this in the past, so they'll really appreciate you hooking them up. I can send you a sample email with a unique link to send out. When your people click the link and they go to a page where they have to enter their name and email to access my free content and training, well, once they opt in, they get immediate access. A few days later, I'll email them and say, hey, if you like that free thing I sent you, then you'd like my new product or program. Anyway, if they ultimately buy my stuff, I know they came from you because it will track back to that unique link you sent out. Then I'll give you 50% of the revenue. So you are giving super high value free stuff to your list and making money for it. If you're game, I'll send you the custom email and link to send to your list. All you have to do is personalize it and click send. What do you think? This is important. I want to do this for you too. So let me know what you'd like me to promote for you. I know my people like your stuff now. Signed, Millionaire Messenger. This type of approach works great because it's based on open reciprocity. I promoted you. Would you like to promote me? Value to customers. We're giving them free, great, high-value stuff. Simplicity. Just click send. And compensation. You make money, and so do I. Nothing has to be complicated about all this, and you have probably seen it in action dozens of times. Here are a few good things to know about this approach. First, it only works if you have created a real relationship with your potential promotional partner. Second, it only works if you really add value to customers with the free content. Third, you should disclose to your audience that you are an affiliate and may be compensated if they purchase anything through your links. Fourth, it's easy to set up using affiliate tracking and shopping cart functions from any basic provider like One Shopping Cart, Office Autopilot, or Infusionsoft. An important disclosure here is that I am not an affiliate or spokesperson for any of these companies, and I'm not endorsing them here. I'm just sharing what most gurus use as far as technology. We often get into the intricacies and technology of doing all this at Experts Academy, but the takeaway here should be obvious. Offer to make it easy and lucrative for someone to promote you. Once you get a few promotional partners on board, it's like a multiplier for your business. More people in your space will find out about you, more people will subscribe to your lists, and more people will start approaching you with their own promotional partnership ideas. Promotional partnerships are not limited to only other gurus, though. I've taught thousands of experts and entrepreneurs how to partner with Fortune 500 sponsors and nonprofit organizations through my famous partnership seminar. This event is the only comprehensive training seminar in the world teaching this. The basic idea is that you team up with companies or nonprofits to create unique content and promotions for their audience, all based on your brand and how-to information. In exchange, companies and nonprofits often pay you, promote your message to millions, and provide invaluable perspective and resources, staffing, technology, etc., to make all of it happen. To learn more about organizational sponsorships and promotional partnerships, visit www.partnershipseminar.com. Look, everybody needs promotional partners. If you agree with that, you should be diligently and strategically looking for potential partners who can help spread your message and grow your brand and business. My promotional partners have helped me reach millions of people around the globe and make millions of dollars at the same time. They helped add value to people I could never have reached and allowed me to become, in a wonderfully ethical and collaborative way, a millionaire messenger. I wish the same for you.